I think I'm getting the hang of this now, finally. Let me just get up the chat on my computer. But hello, everyone. This is going to be another live chat. I'm going away for a couple of days. There will still be daily videos, though. I've committed myself to, while Doctor Who's on air, not going a single day without posting a Doctor Who video, which is ruining my sleep schedule, but it's working so far. But yeah, I'm going away for a couple of days soon, so I thought I'd do a little live chat to get your guys' theories, your guys' input. Like, the biggest plot twist of Doctor Who in the past however long happened yesterday. Let me just get the live chat up on here. So what are people's thoughts on that, the live chat? Hello people, hello Eleanor, hello Dr. Master, hello Commander Midnight, hello everyone. According to this, there's nobody watching, but there's a couple of people in the live chat, so I'm sure this live stream must exist somewhere. Oh, there we go, everyone's popping in. Hello, someone. That's literally their username. Dr. Master says, Slovenia Carpenter snubbed Raxacolic deserved the win. I know, it was absolute shambles. Hello, Kerry, hello, TARDIS, hello, Ollie, hello, Tom. Hello Andy, hello Claire, hello Ricky, hello John, hello Scalzi, hello Harper, hello, is that the same John or another John? Maybe there's multiple Johns, maybe John bi-generated. We'll have to wait and see. I've got to ask, I was about to ask the question, what did people think of the plot twist, but we've already had a bi-generation sucks in the chat. We've got Tom who says, I was so happy yesterday. Fair. I think this has been, the episode itself is definitely one of the most divisive episodes Doctor Who has done. If you use Twitter, I would advise staying away from Doctor Who Twitter. It's been a war field for the past 24 hours. But yeah, some people seem to enjoy that plot twist. I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it, I can't lie. Because part of me is quite cool, but also I think the fact that the Mrs. Flood reveal was A, not done in front of the Doctor, and B, almost relegated to a post-credit scene is kind of wild, but, pop off Doctor Who. We're going to film our podcast later this evening, so this live won't be too long. But, Claire says she's conflicted on the reveal. Hello, Jean1131. They're gonna do the proper big I am the Rani moment next week with the Doctor, but because of that dribble of a reveal scene, all momentum will be lost. Yeah, that's exactly what I think as well. Like, we see Doctor Who usually through the companion's eyes, sometimes through the Doctor's eyes. Instead, we saw them just through, like, a random Eurovision stanning couple's eyes, and it was played for laughs. Also, it was shot a bit strangely. Like, there was something distinctly Sarah Jane Adventures to the reveal, which I just can't quite place my finger on why. But it was such a bizarre reveal. And as well, I watched Unleashed. I haven't talked about this in a video yet, but I watched Unleashed. And I swear Russell basically goes he's like, well, yes, people expected it to be the Rani, and sometimes it's what you expect. Why would you build it up that much? Especially, also, all the teasers going this is going to be the biggest episode ever. Russell literally said the words, the Interstellar Song Contest will change everything. Look, maybe I've missed something, but has it changed everything? I don't know if it has. I did rewatch the episode and enjoy it more. I won't give away all my thoughts exactly on the episode because my re-evaluation of it will be in our next podcast episode. But yeah, it's certainly an interesting one. There's a lot to discuss with it. Reasoned Belief says, when do you think we'll get the next time trailer for next week? Will we even get one? Yeah, I did notice that. There's still, I was expecting, sure, maybe it doesn't come out on iPlayer, but I was like, okay, maybe when the episode actually airs on TV, then we'll get the trailer. But no. I wonder what they're hiding as well, because I'm going to make a whole video on this as well, but Russell said this morning that the Unholy Trinity is not Conrad and the two Ranis. It's Conrad, and then he went I class the two Ranis as one character, one person, plus somebody else. So there is another character, probably a returning character, on the way. I know who I'd like it to be, but I don't want to get my hopes up, because Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that someone said it in the chat. That would be the ideal. To be fair, the Trickster or Omega, either one, I'd be very happy with. But if you've watched this channel for a while, you will know literally since it must be like 2017, 2018, I've been wanting Omega to return. So if Omega returned, I'd be over the moon. But yeah, the problem with Omega, I don't get how it would tie in, unless Mrs. Flood's doing a whole Time Lords thing. I mean, how do the Space Babies tie in? Can anybody answer me that in chat? How on earth do the Space Babies tie in? Because they're coming back. Captain Poppy was in it. Yeah, there's people suggesting Missy. I have seen that. It would make sense because Michelle Gomez was actually at the premiere for what's it called? The Robot Revolution. She was at the premiere of that, along with Joe Martin. People were saying they're just Doctor Who alumni, but Joe Martin's been in an episode. Carol Ann Ford was at the Star Beast premiere, and now she's been in the actual show, so who knows? Rory suggests that 1/3 of the Unholy Trinity are the Space Babies. It must be true. It must be true. Oh, I've just spilt my drink. And live as well. Normally, you see, I'd be able to edit that out really smoothly and not look like a fool, but alas, alas, we're live. I'm not keeping up with the chat. Sorry, people. Please feel free to... Me when I just spilled my drink. Please feel free to, don't spam the chat, but you can like repost if I've missed your things. And as ever, if you want a super chat, there's no obligation, but it will flash up on my screen in nice bright colours, so I'll definitely be able to respond to it. Harper says, Space Babies were a science experiment by the Rani to bring Time Lords back. Yeah. It could be something along those lines. I don't know, that with the Doctor, like, this is what I don't get. In, like, the Master 3-parter from Series 3, the Doctor's like, if I see another Time Lord, I'll know exactly, I'll know them, I'll see their face. And then how many times has that not happened? Would the Doctor be able to tell the Space Babies were Time Lord Space Babies? Who knows? Who knows? Martin Palmer definitely spilling the tea there. Nice, nice. Crux McCallion says, which would mean that the Rani made a machine to make bogey monsters. Yeah, why not? I mean, I did actually see someone suggested, it must have been on Twitter or something, I can't remember, it might have been in the comments section somewhere, but someone suggested, what if like the Rani's motivation is to bring science and order back into the universe after the sprinkling of the salt. So she's against the gods, she's tired of the gods, and she wants to like bring in science because she's a scientist at heart. That's kind of her thing. What if, yeah, she's trying to stop all these gods and bring reason and logic back to the universe. Thank you very much, Andy App, for the £5 super chat. Really appreciate it. Very generous. So Andy App says, following on from RTD's post, does 160 years away put us within the Dalek invasion of Earth timeline? That's a good question, actually, because that could explain Susan. I can't think of the number off my head. Look, this is a chat of Doctor Who fans. What year does the Dalek invasion of Earth... is it Dalek invasion of Earth 2050? Someone tell me the thing in chat. 2150. 21, no, why can't I can't do maths. I can't even read that number. 2150 AD, that's it. Dalek invasion of Earth, 2150 AD. So 150 years in the future, yeah, kind of. It could be. It could be. Why? Look, I feel like, Tom Haynes, whoever you are, why do you have mad beef with me? You always come in this chat and start shouting. I'm so sorry, whatever I've done. Addiction Addict says, I want to see more Mad Jack. So yeah, that's the Roger Ap William kind of thing from 73 Yards. We never really knew or know what that is exactly, but I mean, sure. Look, I want to see more gods. I want to see it like really play with this whole pantheon thing, because, and I want more concrete explanations of what's actually happening, because each god seems to like function differently, and but they also all have to apply by the same rules, and then they all share the giggle, but then they don't all share the giggle. Sutek didn't do the giggle, but Lux did the giggle, and I don't know. There seems to be like a lot just sort of bounded around the place rather than having like a strict set of rules, which I like for story purposes. But yeah, it's a shame there's not a more concrete explanation. Martin Palmer, thank you very much, Martin, for the very generous super chat. Martin says, doing great on the live shows, Joe. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy them. I mean, I've never done live streams that much. I've done a couple as the years have happened, but they are really quite fun, and you lot are entertaining in the chat. Yeah, you haven't bored me yet. I'll give you that. No, but the live chat is fun. I'll probably do this more often going forward, especially when Doctor Who's on, because it's actually like there's stuff to discuss. Operation President says you should do a collab with DW Fan 91. He's a YouTuber whose videos are very well edited. Yeah, I do. I've watched a couple of his videos. I'd be down to collab with him. Why not? He's good fun. His videos are very good as well, and he makes a lot of good points as well. I'll give him that. We have a super chat from Thanos Kirkadis. Thank you, Thanos. Very generous super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanos says, I am wondering if the space babies were saved by Susan from a Rani experiment, and now Susan is at danger after saving the babies. Does this make sense to anyone else? Yeah, I mean, it would be within character for Susan to try and save a bunch of babies. That's an odd sentence that I didn't expect to be saying today, but it's true. Yeah, I could see it happening. I am confused as to how Susan ties into the story. So if she is like fleeing from the Rani, or she's gone against a Rani experiment, her character would, like, it justifies why she's in the narrative. So that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I'd be happy for that. It's a nice theory. Chazo Boy, thank you very much for the super chat. The Rani's red nails are red. Welcome back, Missy. Yeah, that is a very good point. They are indeed red. I did notice this. Do we think it's the Mrs. Flood Rani or the Rani? Because Mrs. Flood's Rani is called a Rani and the other one's the Rani. I mean, I watched Unleashed in the behind the scenes, and they're kind of talking about them as two separate people, which slightly confuses me, I can't lie. But sure, why not? We'll roll with it. Get Tom Haynes in the ring. What's Tom Haynes been saying? That's my comment. Gone. Oh, Tom. Right. Let's read your comment. I would be happy to have a fight. Oh, sure. You know what? We'll schedule it. Boxing match. When? You arrange the date. Dr. Master says, it's Kate. She had red nails. She was on the base. She put the tooth into storage. Yeah, I could see that being true. I think the most likely outcome is Russell wrote it and thought, we'll come back to that later. He did a Curse of the Fatal Death. He did a I'll explain later kind of moment. I think that's probably what he did in The End of Time as well, when the Master's ring was picked up. Well, it wasn't The End of Time. What episode was that where the Master's ring was picked up? Sound of Drum. No, Last of the Time Lords. Then it came back in The End of Time. Stephen Underwood says, could space babies be like pre-timeless children / created experiments by the Rani? Yeah, I think, yeah, it would make sense if I don't know exactly how it will all tie together, but I think we know the space babies tie into at least something to do with Anita Dobson's character, Mrs. Flood, so I could see that happening. Epic rap battles of history, the confused Adipose versus Tom Haynes. This is Sure. I'll do a rap battle. I did actually write. This is embarrassing. It's got nothing to do with Doctor Who either, but I did once write a rap in secondary school for a rap battle. That's the kind of cool person I am. As you can imagine, it was really cool, Max G Hart says, Joe, did you ever have one of those TARDIS tent things? I don't think so. I think I know what you mean. Let me just Google it. TARDIS tent. Were they like... Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I don't think I ever actually had one, but I've definitely seen these kicking about somewhere. Someone probably had one in primary school. Those... Yeah, there was so much Doctor Who merch back in the day. Like, remember when you'd just walk into every shop everywhere, and there'd be Doctor Who stuff. Those days are long gone, replaced by what's that really? Character options. The people who make the Doctor Who toys, that they I can't remember what it's called. There's like a really stupid meme thing that has a whole toy brand, and I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. But yeah, Doctor Who toys don't sell anymore. Um, yes, it's I can't bring myself to say that on a live stream, but Doctor Master has it correct. Davy Boy 1500 says, Joe, the unholy trinity, what's the bet that the third person will be a bi-generated Master/Missy with Michelle Gomez and a twist if Belinda being the Master also? Then we have 4 strong lead women enemy. I could see, look, I saw someone suggest it on Twitter, I think, but this idea that the Master bi-generated, and that's where you get the Sacha Darwin Spy Master and Missy, and that's why they're so drastically different. I don't know whether I really like that idea or really hate that idea. It's somewhere in the middle. I think I like it. I think I like it. You know what? I'm going to go with I like it. It's a great idea. It's the best idea ever. They, they should do it. I mean, I've always wondered how that works, because obviously Missy, I don't want Missy's redemption to sort of be spoilt, because Series 10, favourite series, favourite finale, Missy's ending is just like the perfect way for the Master to go out. Like the whole shooting themselves in the back, they can't escape their past no matter how hard they try. Like, it's all pretty cool. Thank you very much, Shadow Jedi Knight, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you to Shadow Jedi Knight, who says, I did put this on a comment of a video of yours, but you know when the or a Rani stalking the Doctor of each episode in Series 2, so I believe that they have a TARDIS but wasn't shown on camera. 100%. The Rani's definitely got to have a TARDIS. I hope it's the same sort of design as the Rani's TARDIS from Mark of the Rani, because that's genuinely such a cool TARDIS design. Like, it looks so good. So fingers crossed. Yeah, I hope and I reckon, yeah, Rani's got to have a TARDIS. I think, do we reckon it's shown up? Can anybody in the chat think of, like, is there a moment where there's like a conspicuous bookcase or a pillar or a chameleon arced something or other that could have been the Rani's TARDIS? I suppose Russell said pay attention to the blue doors. Could her flat next to Ruby's house be that? Yeah, people are suggesting it in chat. Thanks, Crux. The blue door. Yeah, the blue door, but then her suitcase says PG. That's another good shout. The only thing with the blue door is, does that make Ruby's flat part of the TARDIS as well? Because they're all sort of connected, but who knows? Who knows? The Ruby Road lamppost. I can't lie, if they actually retroactively did something to kind of fix the underwhelmingness of the Ruby lamppost reveal, that would be really funny. Mrs. Flood's TARDIS is what named Ruby. That's what we need in the show. That's what I like the idea of the suitcase though. It's kind of like, what's it called? Fantastic Beasts, where is his name Newt? Newt has his case where he can like go in, and it's like bigger on the inside. The guy that's basically just a copy of the 11th Doctor but done worse. That character. Do we think Dan has a house yet? Probably not. Poor Dan. I've always found that wild, that the 13th Doctor just drops off Dan. She's like, what, you don't have a house? All right, mate, just go and enjoy your life. Like, it's a shame. It's a shame. Newt Scamander, there we go. Thing is, Mrs. Flood's door is the exact blue as the 15th TARDIS, unlike Ruby's door, which is darker. Yeah, I suppose it would be quite cool if just her her house materialised away, especially as well because that could explain why she lives next to Belinda as well. If she just goes and like parks her TARDIS next door to people's houses, she's everybody's neighbour and no one's neighbour. We've got 2 super chats. Thank you very much, Thanos, again for the super chat. Really appreciate it. When Rani said the battle is on, is this a battle with the Doctor or a different battle? That's a good question. It's probably the Doctor, but it could be a subversion. It could be a big subversion of expectations, and the Rani's out to go somewhere else. Or maybe she needs Earth, or she needs the Doctor for something or some other purpose. Yeah, I like it. Thank you, Thanos. It's a good idea. We've got a £2 super chat from Tom. Thank you very much, Tom, who says, "Is the unholy trinity the Rani, Conrad, and Missy?" Yeah, it very well could be. I don't know why, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that Conrad, bro's not on the team. Like, I know that they're saying he is, but compared to literal, like, Time Lords, you've got the Rani, and probably someone else. What's Conrad doing? Why have you got like like a podcaster, like a right wing grifter podcaster, plus two super alien beings? Like, I've got a feeling it's going to be revealed that Conrad isn't in the unholy trinity, and maybe there's a bi-generated master or something like that, or maybe the master, the Rani, plus someone else, something along those lines could be quite cool. But yeah, it's a good shout, Tom. It's a good shout. We have another super chat from Andy App. Thank you very much, Andy. Andy says the whole dressing as former companions we've been seeing was a reference to her dressing as Mel. The signs were there, to be fair. I hadn't thought about that, Andy, but that's genius. That makes so much sense, and that would actually be a really fun little Easter egg. I really hope that's correct. I hope that gets addressed in an episode. Like, Andy, you're onto something. That's cool. Because we've all been wondering for so long why Mrs. Flood dressed a little bit like Clara, then dressed a little bit like Rory. It's because she's doing the cosplay thing, as she did in, what's it called? Time in the Rani, 7th Doctor's era, where she dresses up as Mel. Maybe she's going to dress up as Mel again. Thank you very much, Trev, for the super chat. Very generous super chat, Trev. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Trev says, "I'm going to convince you the Trickster's in the finale." Go on, I'm here for it. I would absolutely love the Trickster to be in the finale. RTD's name dropped him, saying 14's not a jape or a trickster plan. That is true. And think about it as well, RTD name dropped the Rani about 3 times. He name dropped the Rani in A Tales of the TARDIS. He name dropped the Rani literally in Space Babies. The Doctor says, like, the Rani. And it was cut, but in the giggle, Mel was originally going to start waffling about the Rani. They filmed it, but they cut it. So yeah, that is a good point. DWM teased the finale will feature a moment that fans of Elizabeth Sladen will appreciate, and Pantheon. That's very cool. I didn't know that about the Elizabeth Sladen connection, but you know what, Trev? I'm here for it. If the Trickster shows up, I will go crazy. That would be so cool. Yeah, fingers crossed. We can only hope that the Trickster shows up. We can only hope. We have another super chat. Thank you very much, Chazo Boy. Chazo Boy says, "Can we please bin off by generation now? Can see RTD using it as a way to repopulate Gallifrey." Yeah, I did see someone on Twitter with a similar sort of theory to this, where they were saying, like, what if after myth and legend got sprinkled into the world, it becomes like a thing that all Time Lords can do because it's a way of, like, reproducing and survival for their species. It's like a natural defense mechanism because so many Time Lords have been wiped out when myth and legend was allowed into the universe. For some reason, sprinkling of the salt, Time Lords bi-generate now as like a natural thing to repopulate. Yeah, it's a good theory, and I could definitely see it happening. I think as well it could have something to do with Mrs. Flood. Like, she could be behind this bi-generation if she's, like, genetically engineered it to be so. I don't know how sold I am on the idea, but I could definitely see it happening. Could Conrad be another Rani? 3 Ranis. That could be that could be quite funny. I think I'm intrigued to see the dynamic between Mrs. Flood and the Rani, because I think it's a shame that Anita Dobson has sort of been, like, cast aside a little bit. Like, she doesn't get the big meaty threatening scenes, which is a shame, because I feel like she'd do really good. Steve Black suggests that Theorise is Omega. I don't think Theorise is Omega. Theorise in Doctor Who? You've got to be kidding me. No, but Who knows? Who knows? Maybe Theorise is the other third to the unholy trinity. We'll all be tuning in next week, and everyone's mind will be blown. Trev, thank you very much for another super chat. Really appreciate it, Trev. Trev says the trickster appears when people die to make deals. Maybe he makes a deal with all the gods that the Doctor has defeated. That's a really good shout as well. Trev's popping off here with the theories. Trev knows where it's at. Yeah, I could see that happening, especially because, like, I don't know, the only one that would probably be tricky to get back is Neil Patrick Harris, but he'd probably do it. You could have Maestro, the toy maker. I suppose Lux has kind of gone. Lux has evaporated, but it would be sick to see them all team up against the Doctor with the Trickster at the forefront leading the way. Right, we'll catch up with some of the super chats. Thank you very much, Shadow Jedi Knight, again for another super chat. Really appreciate it. Shadow Jedi Knight says, I have a theory, and it's what is like, what if Omega showed up at the end of Wish World? Just maybe. If that happens, I will go insane. I will, in a good way, hopefully. I hope he's not turned into a dog or something. That's what happened to poor Sutek. But no, if Omega comes back, which I think is, the problem is, how many times have we gone? It's possible, like in Flux, I was absolutely convinced that Omega was coming back. But who knows? I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Esco Bomb, thank you very much for the super chat. Esco Bomb says, don't feel bad when you say stuff like, maybe, I'm just jaded, it's a product of RTD's gaslighting. Since Empire of Death, the cynicism has been real. Yeah, I do the effect that Empire of Death had will be studied within Doctor Who fandom for years to come, because I feel like everyone was so on Russell's side. Everyone was so excited. And then, yeah, I do want to know, though, I want one of those like box sets where we get to see all the behind the scenes of what actually happened, because I think there were probably, obviously this is only theoretical, don't quote me on this, but I think there were probably like behind the scenes troubles with the production of that finale. I mean, I could be wrong, but I get the vibe. Like Russell, like, I don't know, he even says in the audio commentary, he's like, we have reached complete narrative collapse. He says something along those lines at one point, and they cut out so much. I don't know what happened, but I'd like to see the original, like, if they got time. It's like how in Series 11, Chris Chibnall's talked about the fact that Battle of Ranskor of Kolos basically had to be a first draft. I reckon there's probably a similar thing going on with Empire of Death. Thank you very much, Crux McCallion, for another super chat. Really appreciate it. Very generous. Crux says, for normal Time Lords, does by generation give both resulting timies, I like that, full regen cycles, whether it was intentional or not? I like it. Is it a hack for 2-timesing your regens, or does one never get to regen? That's a good point. I suppose, well, it's complicated, isn't it? Because with the 14th and 15th Doctors, the idea is that the 14th Doctor will eventually become the 15th Doctor, thus the 14th won't keep regenerating unless he does keep regenerating, in which place he could be the curator or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think they've explained it, and I don't know if they will. But how does that work with the Rani? Is Mrs. Flood like the David Tennant equivalent, and she will eventually regenerate into the new Rani? I don't know. I'm intrigued. We have another super chat here. Thank you very much, George, for the super chat. George says, Helena Bonham Carter as Missy. To be fair, she would be good. She's quite scary in Harry Potter. The only thing is, I'd prefer the role stay with Michelle Gomez for as long as possible. But yeah, I could see it happening. I mean, didn't Russell say he was going to save Helena for like a big role, something along those lines? I can't remember exactly what or when he said that, but yeah, potentially that could be where this is all headed. My live chat's done that thing again where it's just sort of jumping to the top, trying to scroll down. Let's catch up with what's going on. I hope I haven't missed any super chats. I don't think I have. There's another one just coming down here. Thank you very much, Trev, for another super chat. Trev says, the Pantheon is stirring. According to RTD's Insta post, Omega isn't in the Pantheon, so the Unholy Trinity needs to be a character in the Pantheon. Is that true? Has Russell confirmed it's not Omega? Maybe he has. Okay, if it's definitely not Omega, who else is in the Pantheon? We've obviously the Trickster. I'd love it to be the Trickster, but I don't know how likely it is. We've got the Trickster, we've got the Mara, but the Mara's not going to be like the big thing, is it? I don't think. Dr. Master suggests the Meddling Monk. Yeah, I don't think the Meddling Monk's like a god type villain, but why not? They could be now. Maybe they've meddled one step too far and become a god, joined this pantheon. The Toymaker, yeah. Evil Dan, it's got to be Evil Dan. Evil Dan, back from Flux. I mean, I always wonder what John Bishop thinks of his time on Doctor Who, because is he like the shortest running companion? Like, he's got to have the least episodes of any companions, I imagine. Probably. I don't know. Someone will know in the live chat, I imagine. What is the Underverse, asks Alexandra. I don't know. Actually, no, I do know. It's the quickest turnaround ever. I didn't know, but someone told me the other day. Apparently, in the Giggle, the 14th Doctor mentions Council Kell, God of Pavement. Sorry, in the Giggle, I've lost my train of thought. I was distracted by Council Kell. In the Giggle, the 14th Doctor says the Underverse is like where the TARDIS fell, in like it's like the Toymaker's realm. So I imagine the Underverse is where all the Pantheon are. It's probably where they have their HQ, like their evil big lair of doom is in the Underverse. Martin Palmer, thank you very much for the super chat. Martin Palmer says, Helena Bonham Carter could be the Trickster. It would be really interesting and kind of bonkers to see like a more expressive Trickster rather than like the mask with like the soulless face. I don't know whether it would take away from the like impact of the character, and in a way I suppose that they operate in a similar vein to the Black and White Guardians from classic Who. So perhaps Helena Bonham Carter could play like the Black Guardian or the White Guardian, something along those lines. I want Cherry Sunday to have a grand reveal. I'm waiting for that. I don't know what it would be, but why not? We have another super chat here. Oh no, my computer's done the jumping thing again. Oh hey, hello, there we go. Another one from Trev. Thank you very much. Could Paul Mark Davis was spotted in Cardiff during the finale block? Let's have a Google. Who is that? I probably should know this. Maybe I'm going to get shouted at for not knowing it. Paul Mark Davis, the guy, he's in... So he's been in Sarah Jane and Doctor Who, by the looks of it. He's in Big Finish as well. He's the future kind, I think. He's one of the future kind. Who does he play in Sarah Jane Adventures? Someone let me know in the live chat. Who knows? Who knows? Not I. Maybe it'll even start snowing. Yeah, did we ever and will we ever get an explanation on what the snow was with Ruby? Like, I don't... Oh, he played the Trickster. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. How did I Google that and it not come up? I've just been looking at it like, oh yeah, he could have played anyone. His Big Finish... I suppose I was going to say his face looks similar to the Trickster, but it doesn't. But, you know, I should have clocked. Retro Rewind. The Sarah Jane Adventures. Whatever happens, Sarah Jane Review. That makes sense. Okay, we're in. The theories are going. This live stream's slowly starting to convince me the Trickster might be cropping up. So yeah, let's get putting our money on the Trickster. Conrad is the Toymaker. No, Conrad's a podcaster. The Toymaker didn't have a podcast. Actually, that'd be quite cool. You know what they need? They need a Pantheon podcast where they get like different gods on each week to sort of discuss their happenings or whatever. Thank you very much, Evan Stewart Garrett, for the super chat. Very, very generous of you. Thank you very much, Evan. Evan says, speaking of by generation, 15 has 14's memories because he comes out after. Does the Rani have a Rani's memories of Wishworld and the Reality War and what's going to happen? Maybe. I hadn't even thought about that, but it would go along the same lines as 14 and 15 in the giggle. So yeah, they could do, and it would be quite cool, to be fair. I said it in my video yesterday, but I have got this sneaking suspicion, right, that the Mrs. Flood A Rani is going to help defeat the Rani, because she's just going to get tired of the Rani being the boss, which we'll talk about that in a minute as well, because the Rani's got to be the Meep's boss. That talk of like two hearts, double brain stem, or whatever it is, like that mystery's got to be the Rani as well. Is the Meep going to come back? Is the Meep a god? What would the god be Meep of? Meep of the Beeps. Something along those lines. Martin Foote says Trickster does seem to fit in with the idea of a wish world. Yeah, he really does. I think at the moment it's probably most clues point towards the Trickster, especially even if we go right back to last season. It could have been a coincidence. I mean, we've always been wondering, but when the Devil's Chord is happening and Ruby's like yeeted into the sky, she starts to like sing, and Maestro talks about there's a hidden song inside her soul, and the singing that Ruby does, that little motif before Carol of the Bells, very, very much sounds like the Trickster's motif from Sarah Jane Adventures. So I could see it. Tri-generation. Yeah, I think sadly the tri-generation theory has not panned out. There's no Valyard Mrs. Flood. It was a fun theory while it lasted. Belinda is Susan. Yeah, that's another theory that's going around, isn't it? What would people's thoughts on Belinda being Susan be? I kind of hope it's not the case. Like, I want Susan to be Susan. What an inspired quote. Susan should be Susan, but yeah, I don't know. I hope Belinda is Belinda as well. That's my insightful take. I want Susan to be Susan, and I want Belinda to be Belinda. I like Belinda as a character. Also, I really, really hope that Belinda stays on for another season, because she just hasn't had enough time to shine recently. Like, give Belinda more time. We have 2 super chats. Thank you very much, guys. Thanos says, how does the discussion following this episode, Susan and the Rani reveal, compare to other discussions following other episodes? Does the quality and volume of this discussion elevate the greatness of this episode? Let me read that again. Does the quality and volume of this discussion... I suppose, in a way, the worst thing Doctor Who can be is boring. Like, I would always prefer a Doctor Who story that invites conversation and makes people talk over an episode that just has no repercussions on anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's nicer to have something to chat about. So I do think, and as well, we know the viewing figures. I'll probably do another. Well, I won't do a video dedicated to it, but I'll do a video talking about it. We got the overnights for Interstellar Song Contest, and they've massively boosted up, which obviously is partially down to the whole Eurovision and football. Like, it was sandwiched in between Eurovision and football, so there were a lot of people watching TV anyway. But it's definitely a good thing, and I do think, Thanos, that it's going to be a big episode that's remembered for a long time. I think the controversy as well you know what I mean? It will be talked about for many years to come. Trev, thank you very much for the super chat. Trev says, Radio Times, which works closely with the BBC, released an article explaining who is the Trickster last year. Soft launching on purpose. Yeah, perhaps. I mean, they did a similar thing with the Rani. Well, I was doing a little bit of research yesterday for a video, and I think in about February they released a big compilation of loads of clips of the Rani. Clips of the Rani, that could be a good Doctor Who title. Yeah, perhaps they could be cleverly doing it. Right. As ever, guys, if I've missed your chats, please feel free to repost them, because, yeah, just don't spam the chat. We have another super chat from Chazo Boy. Thank you very much. Very generous of you. Hope the Rani survives. Perfect casting. Also, bring back 14 to make the ultimate sacrifice. No more, why can't 14 help? Yeah, immediately on 14, I reckon there's got to be something happening with the probably, I don't think we'll see David Tennant show up, but there's got to be a line that's like, the Rani says like, oh yes, I've locked him in a shed or something, because especially on Earth, May 24th, why wouldn't that Doctor do anything? narratively, I get it. Like, you can't have him crop up every time, and I really don't think David Tennant will actually show up in the flesh yet. He'll come back eventually. He's not done forever, but yeah, I hope that Rani survives as well. She's got to. Like, I want her to come back. Like, I say come back. She's only just got here, but it would be fun to see more of the Rani. The Dan Central says Fugitive Doctor needs to show up. I'd be so here for a Joe Martin and Ncuti Gatwa sort of like double Doctor episode, the two Doctors but of the modern era. That would be pretty cool. Commander Midnight says Dugadoo is the third member of the unholy trinity. It must be. It must be. It's the only way. That Dugadoo thing did get stuck in my head after I watched Unleashed. I love as well that they distance themselves from it. Russell's like, it had nothing to do with me. Yeah, big up Dugadoo. What else have we got? The Amy Way says the Rani equals conducts experiments. I don't know why I read that as equals, but the Rani conducts experiments. Tecteun experimented on the Doctor. If they were the same person, it would give her more depth as an enemy to the Doctor, in my opinion. Ncuti said we'd explore lore. That would certainly be a controversial thing if you canonise that Tecteun and the Rani are the same person. I don't know how it would work, but stranger things have happened in Doctor Who, so yeah, there's no way. You never really know what's going to happen. Doctor Master says, is it true you're playing Skongo, God of Bongos, in the finale? Yeah, that's your inside scoop, guys. It's official. Completely true. Dugadoo is another Rani, suggests James. I agree. It must be. Tom Haynes, the boxing match man. You're gonna go, are you? I think you've been saying that for about half an hour. Are you in or are you out? Like, it's up to you. You can. What? Right, the live chat's jumping around again. We've got a bunch of super chats we need to reply to. Hang on. I really hope I haven't missed anybody out. Sorry if I have. Please shout and scream if I have. Actually, don't shout and scream. That's what some people do in this live chat. Trev, thank you very much. Trev says, also, 15-page tribute to Sarah Jane in the Giggles. Sarah Jane is gone, can you believe that? So much evidence for the trickster. My last super chat. Do I have your agreement? Thank you very much, Trev. You've been incredibly generous with that. And yeah, that's another good point. There are so many little clues. The trickster's got to come back at some point. Definitely. Like, definitely. And I hope it's sooner rather than later. Like, it would be cool if the trickster sort of spread out across a bunch of seasons. I hope there is like a big villain. Well, whatever the biggest villain of this finale is, I don't want them to be defeated right away. Like, I want there to be a god that's so powerful it takes multiple seasons, possibly even multiple doctors to defeat them. Like, a real Thanos-type threat, which ties us in nicely with our next chat. Thank you very much, Thanos, for another super chat, who says, is the shock of seeing Susan the greatest shock you ever experienced in Doctor Who? It was one of the biggest shocks, I can't lie, because it was so unexpected for me. Like, I'd heard whisperings of a Rani bi-generation and loads of other things, which were in the back of my mind. I didn't necessarily think they were true, but I hadn't heard anything about actual confirmation that Susan was coming back, and she just shows up out of nowhere. So when that moment happened, I put it in my review video, which you can go and watch. I literally just picked up my phone and started recording, and was like, oh my gosh, like Susan was like, blew me away. Absolutely crazy reveal. Crux McCallion, thank you very much for a super chat. W Dugadoo. Yep, I couldn't agree more. W Dugadoo. That could be his first name. W Dugadoo. It rolls off the tongue nicely. There was another super chat, but my thing is wiggling around. Where is this chat? Stay still. Christian Unpronounced says, I'm calling it now. We see Susan Ari bi-generate in the finale. Yeah, I could see it. I mean, this ties into all those theories about Belinda and Susan bi-generation. Could something be going on there? Probably not, but it would be nice to see a recast of Susan alongside Carol Ann Ford. Like, if we had two of them, that could be cool. I mean, how many Time Lords are going to bi-generate? How can the Rani bi-generate? I'm sure we'll find out. After Empire of Death, I'm not convinced we will. But I hope we find out. There are the chat just keeps flying around. Slander and Lies, thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Slander and Lies says, "Have you seen that Mr. Flood is an anagram of First Loomed or Lords of Time?" Also, love the Echo series. Thank you very much. I'm very glad you love the Echo series. There's a trailer on the way, possibly in a matter of days, because as well the next Echo film. I was literally discussing it right before this live stream. I think we're going to give it a subtitle. It will be Echo's Destiny something. Like, you know how Wicked is Wicked and Wicked for Good? We're doing that. So wait and see in the next couple of days. But as to what your Mr. Flood thing. Yeah, I hadn't noticed that. That is quite cool. First Loomed or Lords of Time. Russell loves his wordplay, doesn't he? Like, I could see that happening. And as well, I can see Anita Dobson saying, like, "Where do you think I got the name? Mrs. Flood. You should have asked about my husband, Mr. Flood." And then big dramatic reveal. Like, that would be cool. I hope that happens. That would be quite fun to see. Right, let's see. Is that, have I caught up? I think I have. No, in fact, I have not. My computer needs to fix itself. It's the chat, like, I can't show you, but it is literally just, it like flies, like it literally just takes off. Like it just launches itself to like 20 minutes ago. Digital Limbic System, thank you very much for the super chat. Digital Limbic System says, "I think I got my hopes way too high for Mrs. Flood to be the Valyard. This just feels so out of left field." Yeah, I 100% see where you're coming from. I felt underwhelmed by that reveal as well. Like, I don't hate it, and I don't want to just hate on the show. There's enough people just hating on this era, this crew, this production team. I really don't want to do that because I like, they're great. They're having the time of their lives, making a really good show. And I don't just want to add to a pile of hate, but I do agree it did underwhelm me. Like, I think the fact that it was just like thrown in as a post-credit or mid-credit scene, yeah, I don't know. And I think the Vanguard as well. I mean, it's probably because I made a theory video on it, but I just think the Vanguard would make more sense. But then I suppose we'll see where it goes in the finale. Like, it's only just beginning. I'm willing to see it out. I don't want to just cast it aside and say it's not good. Thank you very much, Shadow Jedi Knight, for another super chat. Very generous, thank you. They say, "When the Doctor says every time Lord is dead, and we see a vision of Susan by the Doctor, but the last time we see Susan was her left on Earth with David in 1964 story, so she's not dead." Yeah, I think this is something that's been slightly confusing, but I think if you watch back The Devil's Cord, I think it's implied that whatever the Master did to destroy Gallifrey sort of rippled across time. Like, I think it's Devil's Cord. Someone say in chat if it is, where the Doctor basically explains that, like, something bad happened that got rid of all the Time Lords. It wiped them all out, which probably would have got, like, Rassilon as well by that logic, but I don't understand why it didn't reach the Doctor. Maybe as well, Susan went back to Gallifrey in the Time War. I'm pretty sure that's what happens in Big Finish. So maybe that's the canon explanation. After she was with David, she went back to Gallifrey and was destroyed there. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Right, let's have a look at. I was a smidge deflated at first, but excitement is building again. Archie Punjabi is going to knock it out of the park. Yeah, I do think it's a good casting for the Rani. Like, I think as well, it was written really well. Like, the vibe, the costume, the performance, and the dialogue, it literally felt like Kate Amara. Like, I could hear the "leave the girl, it's the man I want." Like, I could hear that oozing out of the screen. So I think I am very excited to see what the Ranis do in the next episode. Am I going to watch the finale in cinemas? Yes, I am. I still actually, thank you. You've reminded me. I need to get people to pay up because I'm going to sit with a group of people, and 2 people haven't paid. Artie, who's on the podcast, Artie still hasn't paid. Artie, if you're watching, you owe me money. You owe me 2 sets of 2 sums of money, 2 tickets for a cinema and a theatre play. Right, what else have we got? Once again, guys, if I've missed your chat, please don't spam it, but feel free to comment again. Damn it, Artie. Yeah, people are beefing with Artie. I've got to get my money back. You guys are right. DJ says the ice is definitely going to be key. It was mentioned too much not to be. Yeah, the ice in his heart thing. Well, this ties in with the Vanguard. Like, where are they going with this darker side to the 15th Doctor? I'll be intrigued. I'll be intrigued. Right, we've got more super chats. They're flashing. The screen's flashing, but I don't know. Here we go. Crux, thank you very much for another super chat. Crux says, is Rani married, or was the Miss Flood era a big lie? Yeah, has she been lying to us? Is she actually just single Miss Flood? I mean, in real life, she's married to Brian May. That's his name, isn't it? I'm immediately doubting myself, but that is his name, the guitarist guy. It is. Someone tell me if I'm wrong. I think it is. But yeah, it would be cool. I kind of hope that happens. Maybe that's whoever maybe Brian May is the other in the unholy trinity. Shadow Jedi Knight, thank you very much again for another super chat. Shadow Jedi Knight says, but Susan wasn't a Time Lord. She was a Gallifreyan. So if the Master kills her, she will be completely dead and she can't regenerate. I think Doctor Who canon is really messy because I think Russell would just run with the fact that Susan is a Time Lord. I mean, he made Sutek a god. I think for the sake of the story, he'd be like, yeah, she's the Doctor's granddaughter, thus she's a Time Lord as well. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. It's one of the biggest goods of the new era and bads of the new era is that literally anything can happen. Like, there's no predicting half of what happens. Like, Sutek comes back as a dog. Sure, Sutek. The Rani is back. Why not? The Conrad. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a very unpredictable era, which is quite nice. After a Time Lord bigenerates, can they both continuously bigenerate still, like mitosis? I mean, that's reminded me of the line the Toymaker has, where he's like, a vast meadow of doctors, blah, 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 blah. So maybe. We have a super chat here from Josh Sealeg. Is that how you pronounce it? Thank you very much, Joshua. Joshua says, do you think we will see Omega, and that we will see a bootstrap paradox with Poppy being the timeless child? In terms of Omega, I think him and the Trickster are currently doing a race, and they're both very nearly in first place. It could be either of them. Omega kind of through the sheer power of will, because he's just great. The Trickster, as we've discussed earlier in the live stream, there's 101 clues pointing towards the Trickster coming back, so that would be pretty cool. But yeah, imagine if Poppy's the timeless child, the fandom will blow up. People will be so mad. But it would be kind of nice to have that bootstrap thing of like the Doctor instilling his morals into himself as a child. But then, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Thank you for the super chat, Joshua. And there is another super chat. Let's find it. Thank you very much, Tom, for the super chat. Tom says, I think Susan is telling the Doctor to find her in the visions because she is reaching the end of her natural life. It could be, potentially, to be fair. Yeah, because we don't actually know what her motivation is. And if she's just like, Doctor, you promised you'd come and see me again, and it's been X number of years, where are you? That could be quite a nice scene to see. And as well, if the rumours are to be believed that Ncuti perhaps is going to regenerate, it would be quite neat for him to, like, his final act is sort of saying goodbye to Susan if both of them regenerate at the same time, something along those lines. That could be quite cool. Captain Poppy saves the day, says Rocco. Poppy is so adorable, though. Yeah, true. The Doctor isn't a Time Lord either. Yeah, I suppose that's correct as well. I did left, says Tom Haynes. We have a super chat from Chazo Boy. Thank you very much for another super chat. Have you seen that the logo for the Harmony Arena is the same as the octaves for the Giggle? I have. That's a very cool detail. It completely slipped my mind. Someone mentioned it, I think, on Twitter not that long ago, but is it coincidence? I think not. Look, maybe we're dipping into conspiracy Doctor Who territory here, but if you go back and watch the Interstellar Song Contest, there is like the octave thing that symbolises the Giggle. I'm explaining this poorly. You'll find more logical people talking about it online. It's cool, and perhaps Does that tie into the Gods of Ragnarok theory? Maybe. We'll just have to wait and see. The Doctor regenerates into Susan, his own granddaughter. That would be very timey-wimey. Should the Wish World Next Time preview release today, says General. I don't know if they're going to do one. I feel like if they were, they'd have done it last night. Do you know what I mean? Like, why have we not seen it yet? And in a way, I'm kind of here for it if they don't release one. Let's keep it a mystery. Thank you very much, Shadow Jedi Knight, for another super chat. Shadow Jedi Knight says, what if Susan is not the only Time Lord to come back? What if Romana maybe comes back, but with a different face? I'd be so here for Romana coming back, especially if we have Romana played by Lala Ward. Like, why not? Lala Ward could do it. I feel like Lala Ward's, like, does she distance herself from Doctor Who nowadays? I feel like I haven't ever seen her at a convention or talked about at conventions or anything. Because Romana 2 is one of my favourite classic companions. Like, I really, really like the dynamic between her and Tom Baker. And they got married in real life as well, didn't they? And then Richard Dawkins came in, Mr. Steal Your Girl, and took Tom Baker's wife. The drama. I think, we're going down a rabbit hole here. Here's a load of useless Doctor Who information, but I'm pretty sure so Tom Baker and Lala Ward got married. Then at Douglas Adams' birthday party, years down the line, Lala met Richard Dawkins, the writer of, like, The God Delusion and all those books. I think he's gone a bit off the rails these days. He's in Doctor Who as well, though. He's in The Stolen Earth. He's the sciencey guy that's like, it's an empirical fact, which he says a lot. Like, I had to study that man for my A-levels, and bloody hell, he likes saying empirical fact. But I don't know how we ended up on Tom Baker's love life and Richard Dawkins. But yeah, I think Lala Ward divorced both of them at some point. So why not come back to Doctor Who? I don't know where this stream's gone, but why not? Why not? What else have we got? We have a super chat from Timothy Radmore. Thank you very much, Timothy Radmore. There's no message attached. Thank you very much for the support. If you have a question or anything, please feel free to comment it and I will reply. But yeah, thank you very much, Timothy, for the support. Really appreciate it. There's 100% going to be a Dalek in the next episode, well, in the next season, says Henry Cohern. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Dalek soon-ish. I don't think immediately, and I don't know about next season, but I think Russell's not going to go without doing a Dalek story. Without doing a Dalek story. Motion Brick says I suppose it's Billy Piper as the 16th Doctor. Yeah, I've heard this rumour. There's no way. There is absolutely no way. But imagine the scenes. I mean, no, it's not happening. It can't happen. But who knows? Timothy Chalamet is 16. Why not? Why not? We need Daleks. I know, it would be nice, but also I kind of like what's the saying? Absence makes the heart grow stronger. I like that we haven't seen the Daleks in a while, because when they come back, I want them to be redesigned, I want them to be utterly terrifying, and I want them to have some mad plan, and I want it to feel fresh and new. Because I feel like there was literally like a Dalek cropping up in every season. Let's have a break, and then come back. I think we're going to start wrapping up this live stream now, so get your final questions in. I'm going to do a quick fire reading of the chat, so get your final questions, final things in. As ever, if you want your question to definitely be read, super chat it will flash up, but there's no obligation. Just commenting, showing your support, really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you very much. Right, let's go from here. Paul says he's been pleased with the break from the Daleks. Yeah, I agree. Like, I love Daleks, but they need a little bit of time off so their impact is made. Madman's World says Varada Sethu is the 16th Doctor, Belinda actually being Maxil foreshadows this. Operation President, confused Adipose confirmed to be the 16th Doctor. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Russell, give me a call. I'll be the 16th Doctor. Look, I've got an A level in drama. That's qualification enough, right? Probably not. Yeah, apart from the fact that I can't act, I'd be great for the role. Doctor Master says, "Oh my god, guys, it's been here the whole time. It's not the trickster who's the third god in the unholy trinity, who was also in his first story. It's the abysmal Maria Jackson." What is the beef with Maria Jackson? Because I see this on Twitter all the time. I think it's just a meme, but everyone makes Maria Jackson out to be like so evil character. What went wrong with Maria from Sarah Jane Adventures? AFC Man UK says, "I'm still convinced that everything's happening in an alternate reality. Maybe Susan is actually in the TARDIS and trying to wake the Doctor up. That could be pretty cool, because it very much was Susan sort of being like, come on, snap out of it, come on." That does very much tie into that theory. It's cool, I like it. Doctor Who Everything says, "The 13th Master is Conrad." Yeah, I hope Conrad doesn't turn out to be the Master. It's not completely impossible, I think it's just statistically unlikely. Fleur says, "We need answers on how Poppy would come to Earth in the finale." Yeah, I don't know why, but I keep having these ideas. Oh, the chat's jumped. Sorry if I've missed anyone's chats. I keep having this vision of the space babies like rocking up, like the Doctor's about to die from the Ranis or whatever, and you just get like laser fire, and it's like the space babies in their little ship like shooting lasers. That would be quite funny. The Amy Way says, "Susan is Benny. Generate more digital." Says, "In the Five Doctors, the first Doctor meets Susan. No, seeing her return isn't actually that big." Yeah, I know what you mean, but also, I swear in narrative that's supposed to be like she looks older and is older because time passes on Earth. But what am I even saying? Yeah, no, I think yeah, I've lost it. I've lost it. We've got a super chat from Shadow Jedi Knight. Thank you very much. Another super chat. Really appreciate. Plus, Romana is the only Time Lord that can regenerate with command, and you are welcome for the super chat. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's true. Romana has that whole sequence where she just sort of like changes bodies, and yeah, it's a weird one. Didn't she come out as like an Oompa Loompa creature at one point, but blue? I think I might be confusing it with something else. But yeah, no, Romana has control over her regeneration, so maybe we shall see. Thanos, thank you for another super chat. Thanos says, "Omega is cool. Why do you love Omega as much as you do? Just curious. Nothing negative intended with this question." No, I always get asked this because, like, I don't know. I don't think people like Omega as much. But the Three Doctors is by far my favourite classic story, and it's probably, and this is going to be controversial. Everyone strap yourselves in. Get ready to complain at me in the live chat. The Three Doctors is the only episode of Classic Who that I love and watch as much as modern Who episodes. So I do love Classic Who, but often I find myself drawn to the modern series, whereas the one story that goes above all of them is the Three Doctors. There's just something about it that captured my imagination, completely captivates me. Omega as well. I think it's such a nice tragic backstory. And the multi-Doctor aspect, all of that, like I love the character. Arc of Infinity's alright as well. It's not as good, but just Omega from the Three Doctors, it's one of my favourite villains of all time. People are yelling "moisturize me" or Benny in chat. Slavina Carpenter, the third in the Unholy Trinity. She's getting revenge for losing the Interstellar Song Contest. You've cracked it. You've cracked it. It's got to be. It's The Well is kinda a prequel to Wild Blue Yonder, says Alex Mann. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being the case. But I'm so sorry to everyone whose chat I haven't been able to read. I'll read 5 more. Spam them quick, and I will read 5 more chats before wrapping up this live stream, because we've got to record. We're recording the podcast this evening, so I've got to go have a little bit of food and then get ready for some more recording, because that seems to be all my life is at the moment. Right, so Marcus Needle says the Doctor is Merlin. Yeah, that's said in what story is it? It's the one with Jean Marsh as the villain. 7th Doctor era, Battlefield. That's it. The Doctor is confirmed to be Merlin. Motion Brick says, "What if we get a new TARDIS because it's destroyed now?" I think the TARDIS set's still standing. I don't think there's any way they're gonna get rid of that TARDIS anytime soon. It costs them a lot to make. I think they're gonna rinse it as much as they can. What if the space babies are bi-generated timeless children? Perhaps, maybe that they're all one baby that just keeps bi-generating and bi-generating and bi-generating and bi-generating. What if we've had that one? Benny, the Rani, and the Absorbaloff, malice, mischief, and misery. You know that's it's the case. It's true. It's 100%. Don't make me laugh. The big reset is coming. That's very ominous. What does that mean? What a good place to leave this live chat on a very ominous. The big reset is coming. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Before we go though, I've just noticed we've got one last super chat, so I will read this. Thank you very much, Shadow Jedi Knight. They say, if... no, they don't. They say, I like Omega's design in the Three Doctors more than Arc of Infinity, and I hope we get that same costume from the Three Doctors if Omega does come back. 100%. I'm not a fan of Omega's look in the Arc of Infinity. It's a bit silly. His look in the Three Doctors is elite, but I don't know how well it would translate to a modern audience. I'm here for a Omega redesign as long as it's good. I don't want him to be a dog. If Russell does the Sutek treatment to Omega, if he's a giant dog or like a giant cat or something, I'm gonna be like, what's going on here? What's going on here? But I don't mind a redesign. Gary Wickersham, sorry. Thank you very much, Gary, for the super chat. Gary says, I love the way you pronounce Omega. Yeah, I always pronounce it a bunch of different ways because people always tell me off. Apparently it's too Americanized to say Omega because it's supposed to be Omega. But yeah, I'm glad you like the way I pronounce it. By the way, any updates on that pizza with pineapple? Even Omega likes pineapple on pizza. Yes, Gary, I have pictures. I haven't posted them anywhere yet, but it was my friend's 22nd birthday. We were all getting pizza, and I can confirm I have tried pineapple on pizza now. I know that's what everybody's here for. That's what this Doctor Who live chat's. I've tried it, and look, I'll leave you in suspense. It was okay. It wasn't the best in the world, but my very, very strong opinion of it doesn't belong on pizza it's now gone down a bit. You know what? I don't think it's the worst ever. It wouldn't be my go-to choice, but I thoroughly enjoyed that pizza. So thank you, Gary. There's our answer. Thank you, Thanos. Really appreciate Thanos says thanks for a great podcast. Dr. Master says, what about the ice cream? I did indeed have an ice cream as well. This is following on from our last live stream. What ice cream did I have? I can't actually remember. No, it was a McFlurry. I had a Smarties McFlurry, I think. It was one of the McFlurries. It might have been Maltesers. I can't remember. What a way to end the live stream. There we go. Pineapple somewhat, sometimes, occasionally belongs on pizza, and McFlurries are good. Those are my final takes on this fine Sunday afternoon. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy as ever. If you want to see more content, more live streams, subscribe, notification bell on. I am going to be doing more lives because this is quite fun. Just sitting down and chatting to you lot. It's good fun. So yeah, thank you all, and you're now going to have to watch me like a boomer try and end the live. This happens every single week. I say week. We've been doing this, what, like a week? I don't